Okay, so here we are in our factory IO. I've already turned off the items that are always forced on. So we go into our Micrologix, and it gives us the same set that we were on before. Now, I have remover left as 7, emitter as 8, and remover right as 9. And let's see, before we connect, I'm going to put it on pause. I'm going to get rid of you. I'm going to get rid of you and put it in run mode, and hopefully we are good to go. Now again, our PLC is left in the same state as it was before, so it's ready to run. Okay, so we are going to start things up and see how we run, and this should be pretty good. So this is a high box. We're going that away. And we will zoom in on our counter. And there's our second box. Our counter still doesn't work, so that's a problem that everyone has had, and I'm no different here. That's another high box. And so everything looks pretty good. And now, if we zoom in, well, we'll see that our rollers stop when our box disappears. And now we've got another one coming down. Yep. And if you get good, which I certainly am not at using this thing, you can get some pretty nice views of what's happening. So in our case, the box actually fully disappears before we get the emitter turned on. And again, if you write the state logic out, yeah, it's you can figure things out pretty easily with the roadmap, and then if you have the state diagram. Okay, and here we've got a little small box, and we'll take a look at him, and then we'll move on. Whoop. Okay, so something's not working for our small box. Let's take a look at the code and see what. Okay, so let's see, as we're going down, we're at low box latch. Now we can't see transfer because it would have already gone through the at entry signal, so we can't see what's going on there. And our conveyor right isn't on because we have the conveyor left bit there. So that's a problem when you do the cut and paste deals. You sometimes just copy the bits over and you don't change them. So this should be a higher one. That should be our conveyor right. So let's see. We want to first we'll go back to our factory IO and we'll go through the procedure as we should be doing it and disconnect. We'll go back here. We'll put it in pause. We can reset it now. When we reset, the box will disappear. And so now we can download our stuff. So we'll download it. Yep. Get into program. And get into online. And now we should be able to go back to the factory IO. Go back to our drivers. We should reconnect, and we want to make sure that when we reconnect that all our stuff is in the normal state. So that looks good. We'll reset again for good luck. We'll take it out of pause mode and try again and see what it looks like. And sure enough, we'll get a low box right away, which is good. It'll be able to see right away if this is working, if that took care of the problem. And I think that was the problem. Now, one of the things, you know, it's really hard to, you know, when you have the dual screens, and before we were saying you could, let me just move this over so I can go between it. You know, if you want to see what's on the code, you can look here, and if you want to see what's on the factory IO, you can go here, but you can't do both, and you wouldn't if you didn't have two screens. But in playing around with this, there is a pretty cool thing that you can do. You can do both. And if you go into drivers, it'll get you and you'll see this dark screen. Now it's still operating. You can watch what signals are going. But if you hit this eye over here in the corner, it kind of makes it like translucent. So you can watch what's happening on the screen and you can watch your signals. So that gives you the visibility that you need. And so you can see as soon as it hits load, both those signals go off and the conveyor goes on, the transfer goes off. You can see where the transfer goes off and you can watch where the conveyor goes off as soon as it disappears, which is what we want. And it sounds like a good way to grade you guys is just put in this mode so I can see what's going on and off and figure out what's going on. So that's really neat. Take advantage of that. Now I want to show one thing that I was thinking of when I did this program that I didn't, well, yeah, I don't really like. So initially what we had done is we said that, or what I had done is I said, well, because we always have a low box no matter what, we'll strobe it on that. But that assumes, and that's only because the low sensor and the high sensor go at the same time. And in the real world and in real life, that is not going to happen. That's never going to happen. I mean, you can get them aligned as close as you want, but they'll never, and I'll just disconnect this guy for a second, they'll never align themselves 100%. So what I want to do, I'm still going to have this box height pulse, but I think what I really want to do to make it a little better program, and I'm not sure I need two, but I'm going to take that low sensor signal and I'm going to run it through a timer. And it'll just be a short little timer because I know that they should be, well, in this program they're coincidence. In real life they won't be exactly coincident. So again, I'm going to change the time scale to be in 1/100th of a second. And my preset, I'm just going to make it a quarter of a second. So that allows for any slop between the two sensors not being exactly alike. And when you get into the real world, you are going to get into that condition. And so what am I trying to do here? So I want this signal, I'm going to latch it. And so I get the low sensor, I count out a quarter of a second, I have that latched. So now what I want to do for my box pulse height is I really want to take, I'm going to make that the done signal. So after a quarter of a second, I'll get my box pulse height, and that'll pulse it high. And that should be good. Now what I have to do at the very end, when I do my end of cycle, now I also need to put another parallel branch in here. And I need to reset that timer also. So that's my height timer when I'm going to figure out what the height is. So let's see, I see the sensor, it goes high, and I time out it for a quarter second. When the signal goes high, it sends off a one shot, and that gives me my pulse height. And that's my strobe that says, okay, now take a look at where those sensors are. So if they're not coincident, which it'd be a real chore to do that in real life, we still get the right latch signals. So let's see, we latch up and then at the end of cycle we unlatch. So I think that's what we need. So let's just verify that the project's still good. And then we can download it. Program it, put it in run mode, and then we'll just take another look. And it should run as before with the factory I/O. So if we go to our drivers, we'll connect it up. we're in the right state. And now this will be hopefully a little more practical use for what you might see in the field. So here's a high box that should go that way. And you know, it's also, you should use those type of kind of timers for, you know, if you are trying to fill a tank, because when you're filling with water, it's kind of going to slosh around a little bit, so it's going to take a little bit before things actually settle out. So it's not exactly a pretty good analogy, but it's kind of like that you can't get the sensors exactly aligned. So I think it is a little better that you put that delay in there. So if the sensor is off a little bit, you know, that quarter of a second, if we try to count a little bit for a quarter of a second, we can go back into our driver section. We can use the eye to see when it goes high. But we're going to look at when our sensor goes high and just try to count out a quarter of a second, which would be like right there. So even though they're coincident, you're for sure going to get it unless the box happens to be, I don't know, the size of an eraser. You might miss it. But I think that works pretty good. And you know, when you're doing it, rather than trying to go back and forth, this screen where you're in the driver screen and then use the eye gives you really good visibility, and this is the way you should be like trying to troubleshoot your programs. You know, it's usable. You know, it's a little bit hard, but you can get used to it, and I think you guys will like it. It's a lot better than trying to switch back and forth between screens. So that's our test. It looks pretty good to me. And that's it for the Allen Bradley box sorter. And it's on to the Siemens, which I think you'll like the Siemens controllers. They're pretty cool. So we'll see you next time.